Good morning and welcome back to Breakfast Television. 7:13 on what we're calling the Bro Show because Courtney is away today. I'm filling in and we brought in Chef Rob to show us some manly cooking. Now, a little earlier on you showed us a very creative sandwich, but right now we're talking steaks because a well-grilled steak can't be beat, but you say you can prepare just as good of a steak instead of a frying pan?
You can. You know, like it's grilling season is upon us, but
I hope.
Yeah, when you look outside, it's not really ready. And some people have their barbecues ready, but not everyone does, and not everyone has a barbecue. So I'm going to show you the perfect way how to cook a steak in a pan.
All right, but before we even get cooking, it comes with picking out that perfect cut of steak, and we've got to do something to it ourselves. We have to age it. So let's talk about that cut and how we age steaks ourselves.
Okay, so I like going with ribeye. Ribeye is probably the best steak that you can use because it's well marbled. So marbling is the fat inside the meat, which actually gives it flavor.
Oh, so you want to see a little bit of that fat inside of there?
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have to age the steak.
Now, that's something that I feel like a butcher should have taken care of before I got it, but you say this is something that I can do, and I actually don't have to do a whole heck of a lot to age it.
You can do this at home.
Okay.
So I took a baking rack here because you want airflow to go above and beneath the steak, and I let it age in the fridge for 2 days. Right?
So we just put it on the rack so stuff can get underneath, and we just don't cover it, don't wrap it or anything?
Nothing, just leave it like that.
Wouldn't it get dried out if we don't cover it?
No, what you're getting there is it does get a little bit dry on top, but it's making it moist inside, and it's concentrating the flavors. So that's what aging of a steak actually does.
No kidding. So we don't have to be worried if we feel the texture and it feels a little bit stiff on the outside because inside it's going to have all that nice, good, concentrated steak flavor? Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that. So we've got our steaks aged. Does that mean we're ready to throw it in the pan?
Yeah. Get yourself a little bit of oil in the pan there.
Okay. So just regular olive oil, or what is this?
You know what? I use a little bit more. I use canola oil just because olive oil has a lower smoke point and it'll burn easier. And then we are going to season the steak with a little bit of salt, not pepper.
Why not pepper?
We don't use pepper in there because the pepper is going to burn.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so a little different technique when we're cooking it on the pan versus the grill?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what you're going to want to do is this is starting to sizzle now, and I season one side. We're going to season the other side. Now, very important, don't walk away from the steak thinking, hey, I'm just going to cook it halfway on one side and halfway on the other.
Why not?
You need to pay attention to this steak, and you need to flip this steak every 20 seconds.
What? Okay, so yeah, it's flip time. It's flip time.
It's flip time.
Now, why are we doing this constant flipping technique? Is that going to affect the texture, the taste? What's going on here?
Well, it's definitely going to affect the texture because what you want is you want a nice crust on the outside, and you want it to be tender on the inside. So what flipping does is it keeps the outside hot and the inside cooking slowly.
Oh, gotcha. Now, hang on, 3, 2, 1, flip. How long do we do this flipping and tossing process before the steak is ready to go?
Well, you know, you have to cook it to your desired doneness. So if you want it rare, you would cook it to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. If you want it medium, you will cook it to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you want it well done, you were going to cook it to 170 degrees Fahrenheit.
Gotcha. So we already have a completed steak, which you've done to perfection. How do we dress this up and get it ready to eat?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna need you to pay attention to this steak.
I'm on it. I'm watching.
All right.
Take the tongs.
So we've let this sit for about 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what we want to do here is we want to assemble this sandwich, and I think I'm gonna have to borrow your tongs.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by putting some onions on the bottom. We'll just put this down right here.
So we got that over there. All right, so we're just about out of time. So what are the finishing touches?
Okay.
If we're in a rush, if all of a sudden, holy smokes, our favorite show of How I Met Your Mother is about to begin, and I got to rush this sandwich into the living room so I can watch in front of the TV like a manly man.
Well, we're going to want to slice the steak, but first we need our condiments. So I have a little bit of tuna in there, and a little bit of hot sauce.
All right, so we've got a fish and beef and spiciness combo happening.
Yeah, so what I need you to do is I need you to grab that mayo, put it in there, and mix it around, because that's going to be our spicy tuna mayo.
Okay.
Then this steak, we are going to slice. You can slice it thin, you can slice it thick, depending on how you like it.
We got some good steak slices. Oh, time to flip this steak. And we're doing some really manly cooking, because I don't know if you can tell right now, but I'm actually stirring this sauce using a pen. So when doing manly cooking, you can use whatever devices or tools are at your disposal inside of your kitchen.
Okay, so after we got that, we're going to add, I have some smoked Gouda cheese
Oh, that sounds good.
right here. And then if you want to get some of that...
Sure. Just make sure when you're using the pen, use the cap side, because you can use the flat edge of the cap to help you spread the toppings. So spread out that tuna spiciness topping.
Or us chefs like to use something called a knife.
Oh, but you know, us pro cookers, this is what we do.
And then I'm going to top it off with a little bit of arugula.
All right. So Chef Rob
close
putting
it.
the finishing touches on those sandwiches. If you want to catch up with Chef Rob, you are going to be doing a little cooking display at which MLCC?
The Grant Park MLCC, the newly renovated Grant Park MLCC.
So stop by noon on Saturday to visit Chef Rob and get some more cooking ideas. Taking a quick break here on BT, but more to come later this morning on City.